Hello, and welcome to today's episode of the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Henry, and today we're going to talk about something that I know many of you have struggled with: speaking confidently in English, no matter where you are. Now, I know it can be intimidating to speak English in public or with people you don't know very well, but trust me, speaking confidently is a skill that everyone can develop. Whether you're in a meeting at work, ordering food at a restaurant, or simply talking with a friend, confidence in your speech can make all the difference. It helps you communicate more clearly, feel more comfortable, and truly express yourself in English. In this episode, we'll break down the steps to build your confidence when speaking English, and we'll share practical tips that you can start using right away. By the end, you'll have a clearer idea of how to speak with more confidence in any situation. So, let's get started, and let's learn how you can speak confidently, anywhere. Let's start by talking about what confidence really means when it comes to speaking English. You've probably heard the word confidence a lot, but what does it mean in this context? Well, confidence is the belief in your ability to speak clearly and express yourself, even if you're not perfect. It's about trusting yourself to communicate, even if you make mistakes. Think about it. If you are not afraid to speak up, your words flow more easily. And that's what confidence does for you. It helps you relax, stay calm, and focus on what you want to say, rather than worrying about what others might think. So why is confidence so important in communication, especially in English? Well, confidence helps you connect with others. When you speak confidently, people are more likely to understand you and respond positively. On the other hand, if you sound unsure or nervous, people might not listen as carefully, or you might feel too shy to keep talking. But here's something really important to remember. Confidence doesn't mean speaking perfectly. It means being comfortable with the process of learning and communicating. You don't need to be afraid of making mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. The key is to keep going, even when you're unsure. The more you practice, the more confident you will become. And when you're confident, something amazing happens. You stop focusing on what you might get wrong and start focusing on what you want to say. This is a huge step in becoming a better speaker, and it can make all the difference in your language journey. But what happens when you don't have confidence? If you don't feel confident, it can be difficult to speak at all. You might feel afraid to start a conversation or to share your ideas, even if you know the words. This can lead to missed opportunities to practice and improve your English. Plus, without confidence, you might avoid speaking with others or shy away from situations where you need to use English, which only makes it harder to grow. So, to sum it up, confidence in speaking English is about believing in your ability to communicate, even when you're not perfect. And while it's normal to feel nervous, remember that with practice, you can get better and more confident every day. Now that we understand what confidence is and why it's important, let's talk about how you can actually build your confidence. Confidence doesn't happen overnight, but it's something you can develop step by step. So, let's go over some of the basics, the foundations, that will help you speak confidently in English. 1. Overcoming the fear of making mistakes. One of the biggest barriers to confidence is the fear of making mistakes. I'm sure many of you have felt this fear. Maybe you've been afraid that people will laugh at you or think you're not good enough. But here's the truth. Making mistakes is completely normal. In fact, mistakes are one of the best ways to learn. Every time you make a mistake, it's an opportunity to improve. When you speak English, it's okay if your grammar is not perfect or if you don't know every word. What's important is that you're practicing and that you're willing to learn from each mistake. Remember, nobody speaks perfectly all the time, not even native speakers. So, the next time you make a mistake, don't be hard on yourself. Just keep going and keep learning. 2. The role of practice in building confidence. Another key foundation for building confidence is practice. The more you practice speaking, the more comfortable you will become. Think about any skill, whether it's playing an instrument, cooking, or learning a sport. The more you practice, the better you get at it. Speaking English is no different. If you wait for the perfect moment to speak or keep putting it off because you're scared, you'll never improve. Instead, try to speak every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Practice doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to happen regularly. Start with simple conversations. You can practice with friends, language partners, or even by yourself, just speaking aloud. The key is to practice consistently. 3. Developing a positive mindset towards language. Learning, another essential part of building confidence, is having the right mindset. When you have a positive mindset, you're more likely to keep going even when things get tough. It's important to think of learning English as a journey, not a race. There will be ups and downs, but each step forward is progress. Instead of focusing on what you can't do, celebrate the things you can do. If you can have a short conversation or understand a movie in English, that's a success. Focusing on your progress, no matter how small, will help you stay motivated and keep building your confidence. And remember, confidence doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being willing to try, to make mistakes, and to learn from them. If you believe that you can improve, that belief will help you speak more confidently. 4. Take it one step at a time. Finally, building confidence is about taking it one step at a time. Don't rush yourself. Set small, achievable goals. Maybe your first goal is to introduce yourself in English without feeling nervous. Maybe it's ordering food at a restaurant in English. Every small victory adds up, and over time, these steps will help you feel more comfortable and confident in all kinds of situations. So, the foundation for building confidence in English is simple. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Practice regularly. Develop a positive mindset. And take it one step at a time. When you do these things, you'll start to see your confidence grow, and that will help you speak more easily and naturally in any situation. Now that we've covered the basics of building confidence, let's dive into some practical tips that you can use right away to speak confidently in English. These tips will help you not only improve your speaking skills, but also boost your self-assurance in any situation. 1. Start small. Begin with simple conversations. One of the best ways to build confidence is to start with small, simple conversations. You don't need to speak in long, complicated sentences right away. In fact, trying to do too much too soon can make you nervous and cause you to make mistakes that might lower your confidence. Instead, start by practicing simple greetings, introducing yourself, or asking for directions. These are everyday situations that are easy to practice and will give you quick wins. For example, try saying, "Hi, my name is Henry. What's your name?" Or, "Can you tell me where the nearest bus station is?" These small interactions will help you get used to speaking English in a low-pressure environment. Remember, the more you speak, even in simple conversations, the more comfortable and confident you will feel over time. 2. Use body language to support your speech. Did you know that body language can make you feel more confident when speaking? It's true. When you stand tall, make eye contact, and smile, you not only look more confident, but you also feel more confident. So, the next time you're speaking in English, pay attention to your posture. Keep your shoulders back and your head up. Smile while speaking. When you show confidence with your body, it will help your words come out more clearly and naturally. And when others see your confident body language, they will listen to you more closely and understand you better. 3. Prepare for conversations. Anticipate topics. Another tip is to prepare for conversations. Think about the situations where you might need to speak English and try to prepare for them in advance. If you're going to a store, practice how to ask about products or prices. If you're going to meet someone new, practice how to introduce yourself or ask about their day. Having a few sentences or questions ready will help you feel more confident when the conversation happens. You won't have to worry about coming up with something to say because you'll already be prepared. For example, if you know you'll be talking about a restaurant, you could practice questions like, "What's the special today?" Or, "Can I see the menu, please?" The more you prepare, the more confident you'll feel when it's time to speak. 4. Listening. The secret to effective speaking. Did you know that listening is one of the most important skills for speaking confidently? Many learners focus only on speaking, but listening is just as important. The more you listen to English, whether it's movies, podcasts, music, or conversations, the better you'll understand how the language works and how people use it. When you listen regularly, you'll hear common phrases, new vocabulary, and how native speakers pronounce words. This will make it easier for you to use these phrases in your own speaking. Listening also helps you understand different accents and speeds of speech, which can make you less nervous when speaking with people from different backgrounds. So, try to listen to English as much as possible, whether it's watching TV shows, listening to audiobooks, or having conversations with native speakers. 5. Speak regularly with native speakers or language partners. One of the best ways to improve your speaking skills and build confidence is to practice with native speakers or language partners. The more you speak with others, the more comfortable you will become in real-life situations. You'll get to practice listening, speaking, and understanding natural, everyday English. If you don't have native speakers around you, there are many platforms and apps where you can connect with people for language exchange. For example, apps like Hello Talk, Tandem, or even language meetups in your city can help you find people to practice with. Even speaking with other learners is helpful because you can practice together and share tips. And don't worry about mistakes. Native speakers are usually very understanding and will help you learn. Speaking with others will also give you the chance to hear different accents and speaking styles, which will make you feel more comfortable with diverse situations. 6. Record yourself speaking. Here's a simple but powerful tip: record yourself speaking. This might feel a bit strange at first, but it's a great way to hear yourself and notice areas where you can improve. You can record yourself reading something in English, having a conversation with yourself, or practicing a topic that you want to discuss. After listening to the recording, you can identify things like unclear pronunciation, grammar mistakes, or areas where you need more practice. The key is to listen with a critical ear and use what you hear to improve. Recording yourself helps you track your progress, and it's also a safe way to practice without the pressure of speaking in front of others. You might even surprise yourself when you hear how much you've improved. So, to sum up, here are some practical tips to speak confidently in English. 1. Start small with simple conversations. 2. Use body language to make yourself feel more confident. 3. Prepare for conversations by thinking of topics or questions in advance. 4. Listen to English regularly to improve your speaking. 5. Practice speaking with native speakers or language partners. 6. Record yourself speaking to track your progress. By following these tips, you'll build your speaking confidence and feel more comfortable using English in everyday situations. Now, let's talk about some of the common fears and challenges that many of you might face when speaking English. It's completely normal to feel nervous or anxious, but it's important to understand how to face these fears so they don't stop you from speaking confidently. 1. Fear of making mistakes. One of the biggest fears that many learners face is the fear of making mistakes. Maybe you're afraid that you'll say something wrong and people will laugh at you or judge you. This is a very common fear, but here's the truth. Making mistakes is part of the learning process. Everyone, even native speakers, makes mistakes. The key is to see mistakes as opportunities to improve. When you make a mistake, it's simply a sign that you're learning. Instead of being afraid of making errors, try to embrace them. Each mistake is a step forward. And most importantly, when you make a mistake, don't worry. Just correct it and keep going. People will respect your effort, and you'll learn more by doing this than by staying silent out of fear. 2. Fear of not being understood. Another common challenge is the fear that others won't understand you when you speak. Maybe you worry about your pronunciation or accent, and you're afraid that people won't know what you're saying. But let me tell you something. The most important thing is to communicate clearly, not perfectly. If you can get your point across and people can understand you, that's already a huge success. And remember, pronunciation can be improved over time, but communication is what matters most. If you're worried about pronunciation, you can work on specific sounds or practice with native speakers. The key is to stay calm and keep speaking. 3. Overcoming shyness and anxiety. Many learners also experience shyness or anxiety when it comes to speaking in front of others. It's completely normal to feel nervous, especially when you're speaking in a second language, but the good news is that there are ways to manage this anxiety. One way is to start with low-pressure situations. Try speaking with friends or family members who are patient and understanding. Or you can practice by talking to yourself at home or recording your voice. When you practice in a safe and comfortable environment, it can help you build your confidence. Another tip is to focus on breathing. If you're feeling nervous, take a deep breath before speaking. This simple technique can help calm your nerves and make you feel more in control. And remember, it's okay to pause for a moment to gather your thoughts. No one expects you to speak perfectly without thinking. Taking a moment to breathe and collect your thoughts shows that you're confident in what you're saying. 4. Fear of different accents or fast speakers. Finally, one fear that many learners have is the fear of dealing with different accents or fast speakers. Maybe you've had difficulty understanding someone because they speak quickly or have a different accent, and it made you feel self-conscious. Here's a tip. Don't be afraid to ask for clarification. If you don't understand something, it's okay to politely ask, "Sorry, could you say that again?" Or, "Can you speak a little slower, please?" Most people will be happy to help. Also, remember that understanding different accents takes time and practice. Try to listen to different types of English, like movies, podcasts, or interviews with people from different countries. The more you listen, the easier it will become to understand various accents and speaking speeds. So, when it comes to overcoming fears and challenges, 1. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Embrace them as part of learning. 2. Focus on communication, not perfection, to overcome the fear of not being understood. 3. Practice in comfortable situations to reduce shyness and anxiety, and use breathing techniques to stay calm. 4. Don't be afraid to ask for clarification when dealing with different accents or fast speakers. By addressing these fears and challenges head-on, you'll be able to speak with more confidence and feel less anxious in real-life situations. Now, let's talk about improving your English skills so you can feel more confident when speaking. Confidence doesn't just come from the mindset or the practice. It also comes from knowing that your English is getting better over time. The more skills you develop, the more confident you'll feel, Let's break down the key areas where improving your skills will make a big difference in how you speak English. 1. Expanding your vocabulary. The first area we'll talk about is vocabulary. Having a wide range of words to choose from can make you feel much more confident when speaking, because you won't feel stuck when trying to find the right word. It's important to keep learning new words and expressions, but you don't need to learn thousands of words overnight. Instead, focus on learning words and phrases that are useful in everyday situations. For example, if you're learning to talk about food, learn the names of different dishes, how to describe taste, or how to order at a restaurant. Once you have a list of practical words, you'll feel more comfortable in those situations because you'll know exactly what to say. Another way to expand your vocab is by reading and listening to English content. When you come across a new word, write it down and practice using it in a sentence. The more words you know, the more confident you'll feel when you speak. 2. Grammar. It doesn't have to be perfect. Next, let's talk about grammar. Grammar is important, but it doesn't have to be perfect for you to speak confidently. Many learners get stuck trying to memorize every grammar rule before speaking, and that can slow them down. Here's the thing: fluency is more important than perfection. Focus on expressing your ideas clearly, even if your grammar isn't always 100% correct. In everyday conversation, most people will understand you, even if your grammar is a little off. That being said, learning the basic grammar rules will definitely help you feel more confident, because it will give you a structure to build your sentences. For example, learning how to form simple sentences in the present tense, past tense, and future tense will help you express your ideas more clearly. Don't worry if you make mistakes with grammar. Native speakers do too. But the more you practice, the better your grammar will become, and the more confident you'll feel speaking. 3. Improving pronunciation. Now, let's talk about pronunciation. This is one of the biggest concerns for many learners, and it's understandable. You might worry that people won't understand you if you don't pronounce words correctly. But the good news is that you don't have to speak like a native speaker to be understood clearly.